Rob's impact on this stream, on myself, working with him very closely to make these streams happen, that impact cannot be understated. We have our team working very hard behind the scenes to make sure that we're still here. So thank you for your patience as we had to shift a Friday stream to a Wednesday. We are going to continue to attempt to make our live stream schedule consistent for you all. And we have our team, our extended video team, Finton and James, working very hard behind the scenes to take a news broadcast board and make it something that we can operate for you. So how does that impact you? These streams are going to shift a little bit.
Hey, what's up guys? Max here again, and it looks like I just covered this whole portion of what is happening right now to Marble Contest of Champions with like a video or so ago with Kabam Mike leaving, right? Didn't really know that Rob, which is, as you can see there, was one of the big assets, as Kabam Jax was saying, when it comes to the streaming portion of it. I'm watching this recap, by the way. I didn't get to see this live stream live, so I'm watching it on the playback right now, and boy, was Kabam Jax very teary. Like at a moment, I know he was holding it together really well, but you can tell that he was getting very teary-eyed. It was a very emotional topic for him to discuss. You know, I don't know the details when it comes to what happened over there at Kabam. What I can do is just gather information from outsources, right? Well, what I see publicly, not kind of like, hey, I talked to so-and-so and they told me this, not that kind of type of information. But almost literally a year ago, it was almost a year ago that Kabam went out and did a massive layoff. Now, this is not just affected Marble Contest of Champions. I believe, if I remember correctly, there was a couple of people laid off over there at Kabam that were involved with Marble Contest of Champions. Most of you might not know these names because it's not a name that is public like Kabam Mike. You know, he was a big face for the company and inside it specifically in Marble Contest of Champions. But, you know, they had an alarming amount of, I think it was being promoted or advertised all over the news as 12% of the company. Where, you know, when a company is not that large and you reduce it by 12%, that's a very big number. Obviously, it affects a lot of people. It affects a lot of lives, and it's unfortunate, and it feels like it's repeating itself again, all over again. So a year later, we're seeing this happened back in 2023, and then 2024, almost to the month, the layoffs happen again. I'm assuming that's kind of what happened here again, not knowing the details of Kabam Mike, and then Rob now knowing that he's gone, part of the team. It also seems like a lot more people are gone as well. So what do we expect? What's there to do as a player? You know, you look for a source of entertainment, something to constantly be updated. So there are definitely going to be, I think, issues when it comes to like possible communication. You know, it's someone's going to have to fit into that role, which I'm assuming it's going to be Kabam Jax. Taking over or slowly taking over all the items and things that Kabam Mike was doing, as they kind of held very similar titles in at least the communication part. Obviously, knowing Kabam Mike probably was more responsible, more connections, more sources of communications with different parts of Kabam. But you know, as Kabam Jax steps into those roles and becomes more familiar with it, I'm assuming that's what's going to happen. We should be seeing more of him, and you know, whether he's up for the challenge, and I'm assuming he is. But this is kind of the corporate world of what we have. You know, I'm not like shocked about this. I mean, it's bummy. It sucks. But you know, when a company is trying to save and reduce costs, you know, what do you look at? Is it your expenses? How much are you paying individuals? You know, if that's the case, again, assuming that is the case, that is what Kabam is doing again. Another big layoff a year later, is they're looking at the salaries that they pay, and I just simply happen to like look up one of the if you go to Kabam jobs and look at one of the jobs right now that they're looking to hire, I think a salary is between 170 and like a little over $200,000 is what they're paying this individual. So those salaries are pretty big over there at Kabam. It's again, different jobs, different descriptions. That's just one of them that I happen to look at. And I wouldn't say this is a community manager job. If that's, what Kabam Mike was getting paid, in that like $170,000 to $200,000 pay range, I don't know, if there's a community job and they actually post the salary, then we will have that information. But, this sucks. I think it was a layoff, again, just putting things together, and it sucks because people don't see this coming. They're always putting in their effort, they're always putting in their work, and then this happens. So I'm interested in seeing kind of like how Kabam takes on and how that affects really the plans that the team over there at Marble Contest of Champions, Kabam, had for the game. How are the things going to get delayed a little bit? Less manpower, less things to help and work on. When it comes to are people going to be tacked on to different roles? Now the person that was in charge of developing champions is going to be developing champions social media, kind of like responsible now, now, so that means that the development of the champion is not going to be as great as it was before, because that's all they had to focus on. It creates a big storm. So yeah, man, we're gonna see what happens. The game's not gonna disappear. This is not gonna, I don't think that, this happened a year ago and we're here a year later and the game is still evolving, and it's actually kind of forgotten that happened a year ago and we just kind of moved on, right? We just kind of like, hey, we forgot that happened over there at Kabam. And whether it was actually related to Marble Contest of Champions, there's other video games, there's other things that they're working on. We'll see what the game looks like a year from now. Looking forward to kind of like, seeing what that change is and how that affects us as players, how that affects us as when it comes to our enjoyment and like the issues that we have in game, or the little issues that we have sometimes. But yeah, I got another video coming out. I think some more thoughts on kind of like the experience process of the game. It's always a roller coaster, an emotional roller coaster sometimes at that, because we play this game, we're very passionate, we're always logging in daily, sometimes hours on days, and so we get very tied into this, and so just like anything, we go through our ups and downs, and I feel across the board right now, not everybody, but there's a little bit of a mid to low sentiment in the game at the moment. So I think I might make a video about that. But anywho, guys, I wanted to cover this because I did see, I was thinking about this. I was like, hey, didn't this just happen? And I didn't think, I happened to look it up, and I was like, oh wow, it happened literally almost a year ago, the layoffs, if this is what's happening right now over there at Marble Contest of Champions. But take care, guys. I'll see you on the next one.
Shout out to everyone who made this happen, working behind the scenes. I want to spotlight individually, above all, Rob, who made all of this technical everything come together. Thank you very, very much. Built out a whole system for scorekeeping, and then ran the show from behind the board as well. Absolutely incredible, Rob. Thank you very, very much. Thank you to everybody who had a hand in making